The door flew open like a gunshot in the dead of night, splintering the humid silence of my Brooklyn apartment. Levi stood there, drenched from the summer storm outside, his white t-shirt clinging to every ridge of his chest, eyes locking onto mine with a ferocity that stopped my heart. "Ethan," he breathed, voice cracking like thunder. I couldn't stay away anymore. Fuck the consequences. I froze on the edge of my bed, heart slamming against my ribs like it was trying to escape. The room smelled of rain and regret, the kind that seeps into your bones after too many late-night confessions over cheap whiskey. Ronald, my roommate, Levi's older brother, had crashed at his girlfriend's place again, leaving the apartment to me and my ghosts. I'd been scrolling through old photos on my phone, the ones from that road trip last summer, when Levi's laugh had echoed louder than the Grand Canyon's wind. One thing led to another, my hand slipping under my waistband, chasing a release that never quite came without his face in my mind. Now here he was, real and reckless, water dripping from his dark curls onto the scuffed hardwood floor. Levi Kane, 24 to my 26. With that easy California surfer build he'd traded for New York's sharp edges, tattoos snaking up his arms like secrets he couldn't keep. He slammed the door behind him, the lock clicking with finality, and stepped closer, his gaze raking over me like I was the storm he'd just walked through. "Ethan, say something," he demanded, his voice low and ragged, laced with that faint southern drawl he got from their mom's side. Ronald always teased him about it, called it his redneck charm. But to me, it was velvet over gravel, pulling at something deep and unguarded. I swallowed hard, pulling my shirt down over my lap, heat flooding my face. "Levi, what the hell? Ronald's not here. But if he walks in..." My words trailed off because we both knew the truth. Ronald walking in would shatter everything. My best friend since freshman year at NYU, the guy who'd dragged me out of my shell with his relentless optimism, the brother who'd raised Levi after their dad bailed and their mom spiraled into pills. Betraying him? It wasn't just a line, it was a chasm. Levi crossed the room in 2 strides, dropping to his knees in front of me, his hands gripping my thighs with a desperation that made my breath hitch. "I don't care about Ronald right now. Care about you. About this." His fingers traced the hem of my shorts, tentative but electric, and I felt the world tilt. We danced around it for months, stolen glances at family barbecues in their Jersey backyard, late-night texts that veered too close to confessions, the brush of his arm against mine in crowded dive bars where Ronald was too buzzed to notice. But this was ignition. I cupped his face, thumb brushing the scar above his eyebrow from that skateboarding wipeout when he was 16. "You're soaked. You'll catch pneumonia." Lame. I know, but it was all I had to keep from pulling him up and claiming his mouth right there. He laughed, a broken sound that echoed in my chest. "Pneumonia's got nothing on what you're doing to me, Ethan." And then he leaned in, lips crashing against mine with the force of all those unspoken nights. Salt and rain and him, pure, unfiltered Levi. My hands tangled in his wet hair, pulling him closer, deeper, until the kiss turned hungry, tongues clashing like we were fighting for air. He tasted like regret and rebellion, and God, I was lost. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed together, the room spinning. "This is insane," I whispered, but my body betrayed me, arching toward him. "Insane's my middle name," he murmured, nipping at my jaw. "Been thinking about this since that night in the Hamptons. You in those swim trunks, laughing with Ronald, but looking at me like I was the only one there." I remembered. The bonfire crackling, waves whispering secrets, Levi's eyes on me across the flames while Ronald ranted about his latest startup flop. I'd blamed the beer for the heat pooling low in my gut, but it was him. Always him. His hands slid under my shirt, calluses from his construction gigs rough against my skin, mapping me like territory he owned. I shivered, not from the chill he brought in, but from the way he made me feel seen, raw, desired, alive in a city that chewed up dreams and spat out husks. New York had hardened me after Mom's cancer took her 2 years back, after Dad's silence from Ohio turned to radio static. Ronald had been my anchor, pulling me into his chaotic orbit of rooftop parties and all-night coding sessions. But Levi, he was the current underneath, pulling me under. We tumbled back onto the bed, clothes shedding like old skin. His shirt hit the floor first, revealing the constellation of freckles across his shoulders. The ink of a compass rose on his ribs. North is where the heart leads, he joked once, but now it felt like prophecy. My mouth followed the lines, tasting salt and storm, while his fingers worked my zipper with practiced ease. No hesitation, just need. When he took me in hand, slow and sure, I arched off the mattress, a moan ripping from my throat. Levi, fuck. His name was a prayer, a curse, everything in between. He watched me, blue eyes dark with want, lips parted as he stroked, learning me like a song he'd hummed in his head 1,000 times. You're beautiful, he said, voice wrecked. Always have been, and in that moment, with the city humming beyond the thin walls, I believed him. We moved together, frantic and tender, bodies slotting like puzzle pieces we'd hidden from ourselves. He entered me with a gasp that mirrored mine, slow at first, then building to a rhythm that drowned out the rain. Sweat-slicked skin, whispered promises, I need you, don't stop, mine, until release crashed over us, wave after wave, leaving us tangled and trembling. Afterward, we lay there, his head on my chest, fingers tracing lazy patterns on my hip. The storm had eased to a drizzle, tapping Morse code against the window. What now? I asked, voice small in the afterglow. Levi lifted his head, that crooked smile breaking through. Now, we figure it out. But I'm not letting you go, Ethan. Not after this. I wanted to believe him. God, I did. But as his breathing evened into sleep, Ronald's spare keychain glinted on the dresser like a warning. Brothers bound by blood, me caught in the crossfire. What we'd started wasn't just a spark. It was a wildfire, and New York was tinder dry. The next morning dawned gray and unforgiving, coffee brewing in the pot like it could wash away the sin. Levi was gone before I woke. A note scrawled on a napkin. Last night was real. Meet me at the pier tonight? My heart stuttered, but so did my guilt. Ronald burst through the door at noon, arms loaded with takeout bags, his grin wide as the East River. Dude, you look like shit. Rough night. He dumped the bags on the counter, oblivious, his brown eyes, mirror to Levi's, sparkling with that infectious energy that had roped me into this roommate gig 3 years ago. Yeah, just insomnia. I forced a laugh, pouring him a mug. Ronald Kane, 28, tech bro extraordinaire, with a laugh that could disarm a bomb and a heart too big for his own good. He'd bailed me out of more breakdowns than I could count, crashed on my couch when his last relationship imploded. And now, I'd slept with his little brother. We ate in companionable silence at first, him scrolling emails, me picking at lo mein. Then he dropped the bomb. Hey, Levi's in town for a few weeks. Gig dried up in LA, so he's crashing here till he sorts shit out. Cool. My fork clattered to the plate. Levi? Here. Panic clawed up my throat, but I played it cool. Sure. The couch is free. Ronald clapped my shoulder. Oblivious. Knew you'd be down. Family, right? Family. The word twisted like a knife. If he knew, if he ever found out, our trio would fracture, shards too sharp to mend. That night, I met Levi at the Brooklyn Bridge Park Pier, the skyline a jagged silhouette against the fading sun. He was leaning against the railing, hands in his pockets, wind tousling his hair. When he saw me, his face lit up, pulling me into a hug that lingered too long, his lips brushing my ear. Missed you already. We walked the waterfront, hands brushing, stealing kisses in the shadows of joggers and tourists. He talked about LA's burnout, the endless auditions for bit parts, the hollow parties masking his ache for something real. I thought running west would fix me, he said, voice soft over the lap of waves. But it was you I was running from. Or to. I stopped, turning him to face me. Levi, this. Ronald can't know. Not yet. The words tasted like ash. His jaw tightened, but he nodded. I get it. He's protective as hell. But Ethan, I'm all in. Are you? Under the bridge's glow, with Manhattan's pulse in the distance, I kissed him, slow, sealing the pact. Yes. God, yes. The weeks blurred into a secret symphony. Levi on the couch by day, me and Ronald coding side by side in the living room, pretending normalcy. By night, stolen moments. Levi slipping into my room after Ronald's snores filled the hall, his body warm against mine, whispers turning to gasps. We'd make love quietly, urgently, the risk sharpening every touch. One night, pressed against the wall, his hand over my mouth to muffle my cries, he growled, "You're mine, Ethan." No matter what, I believed it. In those cocooned hours, with his heartbeat sinking to mine, the world narrowed to us. Ronald noticed nothing, too buried in his app launch, some dating thing ironically named True North. Levi helped out, crashing our brainstorming sessions with his quiet insight, the three of us laughing over pizza like old times. But under the table, his foot would hook mine, a silent promise. Then the cracks appeared. A text from Levi's ex in LA. Miss you. Come back, he showed me, deleting it with a shrug. Ancient history, but doubt seated, tiny and insidious. Ronald started staying home more, his girlfriend drama fizzling, and our hide-and-seek grew perilous. One close call. Levi's boot under my bed during a midnight chat, and my pulse thundered for hours. It was a Friday, heatwave sticky, when the storm broke. Ronald had dragged us to a rooftop bar in Williamsburg, skyline sprawling like a lover's limbs. Beers flowed, Levi's arms slung casual over my shoulders for bro photos. His thumb stroking my neck in code. Ronald, 3 sheets in. Slurred. You two are thick as thieves lately. What's the deal? Levi tensed, but I laughed it off. Just surviving your chaos. Man, the night peaked with shots and stars. But as we stumbled home, Levi pulled me into the alley shadows, kissing me fierce. Can't wait anymore. Tell him. Panic flared. Not like this. Not drunk. His eyes flashed hurt. When? Then? I'm tired of hiding. Ethan. We argued in whispers. Words like knives, coward, selfish, desperate, until he stormed off, leaving me gutted. Back in the apartment, Ronald was passed out, but Levi's bag was gone. Texts unanswered. Hours later, my phone buzzed. A photo from him, shirtless in some motel, captioned needed space. Don't worry, and gnawed me raw. By dawn, Ronald stirred, hungover and clueless. Where's Levi? Thought he was crashing. Gone for a drive. I lied, stomach churning. Days stretched. Levi ghosting. My world tilting. Ronald sensed the shift, cornering me over breakfast. Spill, Ethan. Something's off with you. Cracked. Tears hot. It's Levi. Shit, Ron. I'm in love with him. Silence. Thick as fog. Then his face crumpled, betrayal. Raw and ripping. My brother? How long? Months. The confession poured out. Our secret laid bare. He punched the wall, knuckles blooming red. You fucking traitor. Get out. I packed in a haze, crashing at a coffee shop, Levi's silence deafening. That night, he finally called. Ron knows. Yeah. It's over. His voice broke. No. Meet me. We fixed this. We met at the pier again. Rain sheeting down, mirroring the mess inside. He pulled me close, soaked and shaking. I love you, Ethan. We'll make him see. But as we kissed, headlights pierced the dark. Ronald's car, idling like judgment. The real storm was just beginning. The rain hammered the pier like accusations, each drop a reminder of the fragility we'd ignored. Ronald's headlights cut through the downpour, pinning us like insects on glass. Levi's arms around my waist, my hands fisted in his jacket, lips still bruised from desperation. Time fractured. One breath, we were entangled. The next, exposed. Get in the car. Ronald's voice boomed from the open window, flat and furious, eyes locked on Levi like he was seeing a stranger. No yell, no plea, just that dead calm that meant hurricane inside. Levi stiffened, pulling back but keeping me close. Ron, now. It wasn't a request. Ronald slammed the door, engine idling with menace. I glanced at Levi, his face pale under the sodium lights, jaw set in that stubborn cane line. Go, I whispered, though it tore me. Talk to him. I'll wait. He searched my eyes, thumb brushing my cheek, wiping rain or tears. This isn't over, Ethan. Promise me. I promise. The words felt like vows, heavy with the unknown. He nodded, once, then jogged to the car, sliding into the passenger seat. The taillights blurred red as they peeled away, leaving me sodden and small against the railing. The East River churned below, dark and indifferent, mirroring the churn in my gut. What had we unleashed? Ronald, the brother who'd bandaged Levi's scrapes and mine too, now armed with truth's shrapnel. I trudged back to the apartment. No, his apartment now, through streets slick with neon reflections. The key turned easy, but inside felt foreign. Ronald's sneakers by the door, Levi's hoodie slung over the couch like a ghost. I collapsed onto my bed, the sheets still faintly scented with Levi's cologne, cedar and salt, clutching my phone like a lifeline. No messages. Hours bled into dawn, sleep a cruel tease. By morning, the door rattled with Ronald's key. I sat up, heart in my throat, as he stormed in, Levi trailing like a shadow, eyes down, shoulders hunched. The air crackled, thick with unspoken war. "Pack your shit," Ronald said, not looking at me, voice edged like broken glass. "You're out by noon, Ron. Please." Levi started, but Ronald whirled on him, finger jabbing the air. "You shut your mouth, Levi. This is on you." Seducing my best friend, sneaking around like some goddamn teenager. Family means loyalty, not this betrayal. Levi flinched, but fire sparked in his eyes. "It's not seduction. It's real. Ethan and I, we love each other." "Love?" Ronald barked a laugh, bitter and hollow. "You don't know shit about love. You bail on everything, LA. Your gigs, Dad's mess. And now this, using Ethan to stick it to me?" I stood, legs shaky, inserting myself between them. "Ron, stop. It wasn't like that. I chose this. Both of us did." His gaze finally met mine, red-rimmed and ravaged. "Chose? You were supposed to have my back, Ethan. Through breakups, job hunts, mom's relapses. And you repay me by fucking my brother behind my back." The word landed like a slap, crude and cutting. Levi growled low, stepping forward. "Don't talk to him like that. Or what? You'll hit me? Prove you're just like Dad. Running from consequences." Ronald's voice cracked, vulnerability slipping through the rage. Their dad, a ghost who'd split when Levi was 10, leaving scars that festered. Ronald had shouldered it all, jobs at 16, therapy bills, the weight of being the responsible one. Levi's fists clenched, but he held back, eyes glistening. "I'm not him. And this isn't about you, isn't it? Everything's always about you, little brother. The golden boy who gets to chase dreams while I clean up." Ronald turned away, rubbing his face. "Just go. Both of you. I can't look at you right now." The eviction stood, ironclad. I threw clothes into a duffel, jeans, hoodies, the photo of us three at graduation while Levi hovered, silent help. Ronald vanished into his room, door slamming like punctuation. Outside, drizzle lingering, Levi hailed a cab to his buddy's place in Queens. "Crash with me," he said, hand on my knee as Manhattan blurred past. "We'll figure it out." I nodded, exhaustion settling like lead. The buddy's walk-up was a shoebox, air mattress on the floor, posters peeling from walls, but with Levi's arm around me, felt like sanctuary. We didn't make love that night, just held on, breaths sinking in the dark. "I meant it," he whispered. "I love you too." The words anchored me, but doubt whispered. How long before the Cane's fractures pulled us under? Days morphed into a fragile routine. Levi picked up shifts at a Soho bar, slinging drinks with that disarming grin, while I freelance coded from coffee shops, dodging Ronald's radio silence. Texts to him went unread, calls straight to voicemail. The city, once our playground, turned accomplice. Alleys for hurried kisses, Central Park benches for heart-to-hearts. One evening, after a double shift, Levi came home with takeout and a vinyl of Springsteen, Born to Run, our unspoken anthem. We ate cross-legged on the air mattress, his head in my lap as the needle dropped. "Remember that road trip?" he murmured, fingers interlacing mine. "You and Ron blasting this, me in the back sketching." "Yeah. Thought you'd sleep through Jersey." I smiled, combing his hair. That trip had been glue, 3 weeks cross-country. chasing horizons after my mom's funeral. Levi's sketches filled a notebook. Motels at midnight, diners at dawn, us against red rocks. He rolled to face me. I soft. That was when I knew. Watching you grieve, still cracking jokes for Ron. Strongest guy I know. Emotion swelled, and I kissed him, slow, savoring, bodies aligning like habit. Clothes whispered away, his mouth mapping my collarbone, ribs, the dip of my navel. Let me show you, he breathed, taking me deep, tongue wicked and worshipful. I arched, fingers twisting sheets, his name a litany. When he rose, entering me with that perfect friction, it was poetry, thrusts like verses, building to crescendo. We came undone together, his release inside me a brand, my cries muffled in his shoulder. Sated, tangled, he traced my spine. Marry me someday? When the world's not on fire. Laughter bubbled, light in the heavy. Cheesy, Kane, dead serious, his gaze held mine, steady as the river. Hope flickered, but reality intruded. A week later, my phone buzzed Ronald. Coffee. Neutral ground. Noon, heart pounding. I met him at a midtown diner, formica tables scarred like our history. He looked wrecked, stubble shadowing jaw, eyes hollow. Not here to fight, he said, stirring black coffee. Just need to understand. Words tumbled, the first spark at the Hamptons, the months of tension, the night he walked in. It wasn't planned, Ron. It just happened. And it's the best thing that's ever. He winced, but listened, fingers drumming. Hurts like hell, man. Felt like you two carved me out. I'm sorry, tears pricked. You're still family. Always. A beat. Then, Levi's a mess without you. Called me last night, drunk, spilling guts. Said you're his north. Relief cracked my chest. He's mine too, Ronald sighed, long and labored. I can't promise forgiveness overnight. But try. For all of us. It was tentative bridge building. Dinners where he'd grill Levi on intentions. Game nights laced with barbs that softened to banter. Progress. Fragile as glass. But betrayal lurks in shadows. 2 weeks in, Levi's phone lit up during a movie. Unknown number. He silenced it, but I saw the name, Jax LA. Who's that? Casual, but my gut twisted. Old coworker. Nothing. He kissed my temple, but the lie hung. I let it slide, but seeds sprouted. Late shifts stretched, texts delayed. One night, he stumbled in at 3 a.m., breath sour with more than beer. Rough crowd, he mumbled, collapsing beside me. Morning brought confrontation. Levi, talk to me. He rubbed his neck, avoiding eyes. Jax. He's persistent. Wants me back in LA for a project. And, dread pooled. Nothing. I said no, but his voice wavered. Doubt festered, poisoning intimacies. Sex turned mechanical, kisses perfunctory. Ronald noticed, pulling me aside after poker. What's up? You look haunted. Just stress. Lie piled on lie. The axe fell mid-October. Leaves bleeding gold in Prospect Park. Levi's bag by the door. Ticket stub peeking. LA gig. 1 week. Pays bills. My world tilted. You said no. Changed my mind. For us. But his eyes darted. I followed him to the airport. cab thick with silence. At security, he hugged me fierce. Back before you miss me. Already do. Kiss goodbye. Tasting farewell. He ghosted mid-flight text. Love you. Then nothing. Days blurred, work numb. Ronald's concerned glances. On day 4, Instagram lit up. Levi tagged in a club pic. Arms around a guy, Jax. Smirking. Bodies too close. Betrayal. Sharp as shattered trust. I confronted via call. Voice steal. What the fuck? Levi? Static. Then his slur. It's nothing. Party. Come on. You're with him. Accusation. Fact. Click. Dead air. Ronald found me on the fire escape. Whiskey bottle half gone. Ethan? Talk. I broke. Sobs racking. He's cheating. Or worse. Rage ignited in him too. Brothers' bond fraying anew. That little shit. I'll kill him. No. I wiped face. This ends now. But endings aren't clean. Levi returned. Contrite. Flowers wilting like excuses. One mistake. Jax cornered me. Old feelings. Booze. But you're it, Ethan. I wanted to believe, but the fracture ran deep. Trust's gone. Levi. How do we rebuild? Therapy. He suggested couple sessions in a village office. Unpacking baggage. Ronald joined once. Awkward trinity airing wounds. Progress stuttered. Hot makeup sex after fights. Cold shoulders in lulls. Climax brewed at Thanksgiving. Their mom's house in Jersey, turkey and tension. She, frail but fierce, eyed us warily. Boys fighting again? But under the table, Levi's hand on my knee steadied. Post-dinner, backyard under stars, he pulled me aside. I'm done running. Jax is blocked. LA's a memory. Marry me? For real. Kneeling in crisp leaves. Ring glinting, simple silver band. Heart soared, but scars tugged. Yes, I breathed, pulling him up for a kiss that sealed it. Ronald walked out then, clapping slow. About damn time you idiots manned up. Grin crooked, forgiveness blooming. But fate's cruel. Winter hit hard, Levi's cough lingering from a flu. By Christmas, it worsened. Fatigue. Weight drop. Doctor's visits blurred, tests. Scans. That word, lymphoma. The world imploded. Chemo sweets sterile white. Levi's hand cold in mine. Ronald rallied, quitting his job for caregiver shifts. Our bond reforged in hospital corridors. Through it, love deepened, nights reading to him from that road trip notebook. His sketches now of us. Intertwined. Eternal. Worth every fight, he'd whisper. Weak but wicked smile. Spring brought remission. Tentative green shoots. Rooftop party. City alive below, Ronald toasting. To second chances. Levi pulled me close. Ring catching light. Changed us both. Ha! Yeah. Kiss under stars. Rain-scented air promising more storms. More sun. Human. Flawed. Ours. Remission tasted like weak tea and guarded hope. The kind you sip slow. Afraid to spill. Levi's cheeks hollowed from treatments. But his eyes, those fierce blues, burned brighter. As if staring down death had sharpened his hunger for life. We moved into a one-bedroom in Astoria. Queens, closer to Ronald's new place. Olive branch in brick and mortar. The apartment overlooked the Hell Gate Bridge. Trains rumbling like distant thunder. A reminder that bridges could hold, even under weight. Mornings started with coffee on the fire escape. Levi bundled in my old NYU hoodie, sketching the skyline while I coded on my laptop. Draw me, I'd tease, and he'd comply, charcoal smudges on my jaw, capturing the laugh lines he'd etched there. Sex returned gradual, exploratory. His fingers tentative on my scars, none physical, but emotional ones lingered, my mouth reverent on his fading bruises. Gentle, he'd murmur, guiding, until urgency overtook, bodies reclaiming territory. Climax came quiet now, profound, tears mingling with sweat, affirmations whispered, forever. Ronald integrated seamless. Friday dinners at his loft becoming ritual. He'd grill steaks on the balcony, Levi bantering about Big Bro's domestic phase, while I'd mediate with beer runs. One night, post-meal, Ronald pulled out old tapes, VHS grainy with our college antics. "Look at you idiots," he chuckled, arms slung over Levi's shoulders. The footage rolled. Us three piling into a beat-up Civic. Levi shotgun, me navigating with a dog-eared map. Ethan yelling left when it was right, classic. Levi leaned into him, easy affection. "You drove like a grandma, Ron." Nearly missed the Badlands. Laughter filled the room, warm as hearthfire, mending cracks I'd thought permanent. But undercurrents stirred, Levi's sketches turning darker, cityscapes bleeding into voids. "Just processing," he'd say, but sleep eluded him, nightmares of white rooms and beeping machines jerking him awake. My arms his tether. Work pulled me deeper into freelance hell, a contract for a fintech app, deadlines gnawing. Levi, cleared for light duty, bartended weekends, charm masking fatigue. "Pays for your ring," he'd joke, flashing the band that matched mine, engraved North and True. One crisp November Eve, post-shift, he surprised me at the office pickup, bouquet of yellow daisies, my favorite since Mom's garden. "Date night," he declared, leading me to a rowboat rental on the East River. Oars dipped silent, water lapping like secrets, Manhattan's glow a distant aurora. We drifted, sharing a thermos of mulled wine, his head on my shoulder. "Remember the pier?" he asked, voice soft over ripples. "How could I forget? You stormed in, changed everything." He chuckled. "Lo. Yeah. Thought I'd scare you off. Instead, you pulled me under." I turned, cupping his face, cool skin, faint stubble. "Best riptide ever." Kiss deepened, wine sweet, hands wandering under blankets. The boat rocked gentle as we touched, fingers unzipping, stroking with river's rhythm. His gasp echoed soft, my name a plea as I brought him to edge, then over, release spilling warm, stars wheeling above. He returned the favor, mouth hot and sure, until I shattered, clutching or like lifeline. Panting, entwined, he murmured, "This is us." Unsinkable, but ships sink quiet. December brought snow, blanketing the city in hush. Levi's energy flagged, "Just holiday blues," he insisted. The cough returned, dry and insistent. Holiday lights twinkled mocking as we decorated our tiny tree, Ronald hauling in a feast. Lax from his Jewish ex's recipe, ham for irony. Gathered round, eggnog spiked, stories flowed. Ronald recounted Dad's last visit, boozy reconciliation that fizzled. He said, "Proud of you boys." Liar, bitterness edged, but Levi squeezed his hand. "We're good without him." Toasts rang, to health, to love, to Cain's +1. But as midnight tolled, Levi swayed, face ashen. Whoa, dizzy. Ronald and I caught him, easing to couch. Call the doc, Ron barked, already dialing. Our lights harsh. Scans whirring, relapse. Aggressive. Words blurred. Stage 3. Options limited. World grade. Chemo round 2. Harsher. Hair lost to razor. Levi's scalp gleaming defiant. Bald and beautiful, he'd quip, but mirrors avoided. I shaved mine solidarity, his fingers tracing the stubble. My twin, nights blurred in hospital vigil. Ronald pacing, me holding Levi's hand through nausea waves. Fight, I'd whisper, kissing knuckles forebruised. He'd squeeze back, weak but willful. For you. Always. Betrayal revisited, not Levi's, but fate's cruel twist. In quiet hours, doubts crept. Was our love curse or cure? One dawn, as snow fell fat flakes outside, he confessed, voice raspy, afraid, Ethan. What if I don't beat it? Then we burn bright while we can, tears hot, but resolve steel. No regrets. Ronald cracked then, collapsing in hall, sobs muffled in palms. Can't lose him. Not after everything. I hugged him fierce, brothers in grief. We won't. Not yet. Spring teased thaw, but Levi weakened, bones brittle, spirit flickering. Doctors pushed trials, experimental drugs laced with hope's poison. We rallied, park picnics on good days, Levi sketching birds from wheelchair, me reading Vonnegut aloud. So it goes, he'd echo. Climax crested Memorial Day, barbecues blooming citywide. Ronald hosted rooftop blowout, friends, family, Levi propped in Adirondack, oxygen mask like party prop. Laughter rang, but as dusk fell, he pulled us aside, eyes grave. Talk, under string lights, wind off harbor cool. He spoke deliberate. When this ends, don't hate each other. Love hard, that's the win. Don't talk like, Ronald choked. Levi held up hand. Real talk. I want you two to promise, build something. For me, we nodded, throats tight, ceiling packed with embrace, 3 hearts sinking, unbreakable. That night, home, Levi insistent, make love to me. Like it's the last, tender, urgent, his body fragile but fierce, guiding my hands to what pleased. Slow thrusts, gazes locked, climax a quiet storm, tears salting skin, his I love you fracturing into sobs. Weeks blurred to blur. July heatwave smothered, Levi's breaths labored. Hospice talk loomed, but he fought, one more sunset, we wheeled to pier, original sin's sight, sun dipping gold. Full circle, he wheezed, hand in mine. Ronald joined, trio complete. Proud of us, he said, voice thick. Levi smiled, fading. Changed us. For good, as stars pricked. He slipped, peaceful, my name on lips. World stilled, river rushing on. Funeral sweltered, Jersey graveside green. Eulogies poured, Ronald's raw. My brother, my heart, mine trembling. He walked in, owned my soul, mom's frail, my boys, echoing. After, apartment echoed empty, sketches framed, ring on chain around my neck. Ronald and I leaned, beers cracked. He'd hate us moping, he said. Yeah. Dinner tomorrow, nod. Bridge held. Grief's tide ebbed slow, but life insisted. Fall brought projects, me launching app with Ronald's input. True North 2.0, queer-friendly twist. Dates flickered, coffee with a barista, but none stuck. Levi's ghost gentle guardian. One winter night, anniversary of that doorburst. Snow swirling. Ronald knocked. Miss him too. We talked till dawn. Memories bomb. He wanted this, I said. Us. Whole. Brotherhood reborn. Deeper. Levi's legacy. Love's wild walk-in. Changing trajectories. Years on. I stand pierside. Wind whispering his laugh. Ring warms chest, north true. Changed. Yes. Grateful. No. Wait. This story's arc demands depth, not truncation. Levi's passing wasn't end. It was pivot, grief's forge hammering us anew. But let's rewind. Flesh the marrow. Post-funeral haze clung months. City summer sticky with sweat and sorrow. I wandered Levi's haunts. Soho bar where he'd sling Manhattans with flair, now toasting his shadow neat. Ronald Dove workaholic. App iterations frantic. For him, he'd mutter, screens glowing late. We collided often, unplanned coffees turning marathons, dissecting dreams deferred. He always said you'd make it big, Ronald told me one drizzly dawn at our old diner, eggs congealing untouched. Called you his poet programmer. Laughter cracked. Cathartic. Thought I was the screw-up. Nah. You're the glue. His hand on mine. Platonic anchor. Boundaries blurred by loss, but solid. Fall foliage ignited Central Park, and I ran trails, lungs burning penance. One crimson afternoon, bench by Bethesda fountain, sketchbook fell from bag. Levi's last, half finished. Us entwined under bridge, faces serene. Pencil trembled as I added strokes. His smile, my hand in his, completion catharsis. Tears salting page. Back home, framed it beside bed. Nightly vigil. Dreams vivid, his walk-in replayed. But now door stayed open. Light flooding. Woke gasping. Sheets twisted. Arousal tangled with ache. Self-love followed. Hand fisting slow. Imagining his whisper release bittersweet. Alone. Ronald sensed isolation. Dragging me to events. Queer film fest in Bushwick. Shorts flickering raw emotion. One. Brothers reconciling post-betrayal. Gut punched. Post-credits. Dark theater. His arm around shoulders. Like us. Ha! Yeah. Squeeze back. Thanks for not cutting me loose. Family's messy. Levi taught that. Holidays loomed thief. Christmas Eve. His mom's, now ours, house aglow. Tree strung with his old ornaments. Tiny skateboard. Compass bauble. She pulled me kitchenward. Flour-dusted apron. Eyes wet. He lit up talking you. Ethan's my forever, he'd say. Throat closed. Miss his chaos. We all do. Hug maternal. Bomb. Dinner strained merry. Ronald's jokes forced. But toast sincere. To Levi, stirring shit from heaven. Laughter genuine. Ghosts welcome. New Year. Rooftop with Ron's crew. Fireworks bursting. Champagne fizz. Countdown. His yell in ear. To new chapters. Kiss cheek. Brotherly. But spark flickered, not romantic. But alive. Winter thawed to spring. 1 year mark piercing. Vigil at pier. Dawn gray. Waves lapping mournful. Ronald arrived. Thermos steaming. His blend. Black. 2 sugars. We sat railing. Silence companion. Feels like yesterday, I said. And forever, he clinked mugs. What now? He wouldn't want stagnation. Tattoo. Impromptu. Artist in East Village. Needles buzzing. Compass rose matching Levi's. On my forearm. Ronald mirrored. Ribs exposed. For the heart's north. Pain sharp. Healing sweet. Ink dried. We pub crawled. Shots burning path to catharsis. To fuck-ups who make good. Ronald slurred. Arm looped mine. Fuck-ups forever. Summer scorched. App launch frenzy. True North beta-tested queer circles. Matches based on scars shared. Not swipes shallow. Levi's influence. Profiles prompting. What changed you? Reviews poured. Feels real. Ronald beamed boardroom. But credited. Ethan's vision. Levi's ghost. Success surged funding rounds. Press junkets. TEDx invite. Love in the age of betrayal. Stage lights hot. Words poured. Walk and hook. Cancer's curveball. Brotherhood's bend. Applause thundered. But back row. Ronald's nod grounded. Post-talk. After-party swirl. Admirers orbiting. One persistent. Micah. Curly-haired dev from SF. Ice kind. Your story. Resonates. Drinks led laughs. Number exchanged. Tentative toe in waters. First date. Ramen joint in Lower East Side. Steam fogging glasses. Micah listened. No pity. Sharing his. Coming out in Bible Belt. Dad's disown. Loss teaches love's shape. Kissed stoop goodbye. Soft promise. Home. Levi's photo watched. Jealousy absent. Blessing felt. Relationship bloomed unhurried. Weekends hiking Hudson. Coding collabs. Micah's head on chest post love, his body lean. Eager. But touches traced Levi's echoes. Tell me about him, he'd say. No jealousy. Wild soul. Taught surrender. Fall deepened bond. Micah met Ronald. Seamless. Bar trivia. Bets on categories. Laughter echoing old trio. Levi'd approve, Ron whispered later. Guy's solid, but conflict simmered subtle. Micah's job offer, Google, Bay Area. Come with, build together. Temptation tugged, fresh start, sun-soaked. But roots anchored, Ronald's vulnerability, mom's check-ins, peers pull. Need time, I hedged. Hurt flickered. Don't want half you. Nights strained. Intimacy faltered, kisses obligatory. Bodies distant. One explosive eve. Post-dinner? Are you stuck? On him. No on us. Here. Words tumbled. Fears of repeat. Loss's shadow. He packed gentle. Heal first. Call if ready. Door clicked soft. Echo vast. Alone again. Grief redux sharper. Self-inflicted. Ronald found me pub slumped. Pint warm. Micah. Gone. Spill. Ultimatum. My waiver. He sighed. Signaling round. Levi hated cages. But hated half-assed too. Wisdom from the bar? From life. Arm around. You're enough. Ethan. Whole. Pivot sparked. Therapy solo. Unpacking patterns. Hiding love. Fearing loss. Journal filled. Letters to Levi. Unsent. Miss your storm. But sailing mine. Spring renewal. Solo trip. Amtrak to Grand Canyon road trip redux. Alone. Vistas vast. Sketches my own crags as metaphors. Heart's expanse. Text to Ronald. Healing. Miss the crew. Reply. Proud. Home waiting. return, reinvigorated, app expansion, queer youth mentorship. One session, kid named Theo, scared to come out. Roommates bro crushing hard, laughter therapeutic. Walk in. Worlds change. Summer solstice, peer soliloquy. Sun high, water diamond. I scattered petals, daisies for whimsy. 2 years. Love you. Wind carried. Freeing. Ronald's call. Party? Your birthday. Rooftop redux. Friends. Cake aglow. Toasts flowed. Micah surprising. Back from Cali trial. Missed this chaos. Dance floor makeshift. Bodies sway, his against mine. Heat building. Home. Lovemaking fervent. Clothes shed frantic. His mouth devouring. Thrusts claiming. All in, he gasped. Buried deep. All in. Climax crashed. Union sealed. Fall wedding small city hall. Ronald best man. Mom teary. Vows echoed Levi. Change me. Hold me. Walk in always. Honeymoon Hudson Valley. Cabins creekside. Hikes hand in hand. Nights stargazed. Micah's whispers. You're north. True. Love layered. Not replacement. Levi foundation. Micah roof. Years cascade. Adoption dreams. App global. Ronald Uncle Hopeful. Betrayals? Mere chapters. Human arc. Walk-ins welcome. Doors flung wide. Wait. This veers. True to prompt. Tragic humanism lingers. Refine. Levi's end by K not hasty. Build conflict pre. Actually. Recalibrate. Original arc held remission false dawn. Relapse climax. But for continuity. Merge. Post-remission. Betrayal redux via Levi's secret. Jack's contact during illness. Emotional affair. Climax confrontation. Tragic close with growth. Revised segment. From file 3 end. Rooftop toast. But doubt nags. Levi's phone buzz during party. Jack's flashing. Ignored. But seed. Next. Chemo eases. But Levi secretive late walks. Returns distant. Confront. What's Jack's? Nothing old friend checking in. Lie unravels. Jack's visits. Support. But hotel room texts betray. Need you? Levi's reply. Miss this escape. Discovery. Phone left charging. Messages open. Heart shatters amid cancer. He sought solace elsewhere. Climax. Hospital confrontation. Levi weak-bedded. Me raging tearful. Betrayed twice? When I need you whole. He weeps. Scared. Didn't want to burden Jack's easy. No stakes. Ronald bursts in. Fury twin. Selfish to end. Trinity fractures final. Me storming out. Ronald disowning words. But humanism. Levi's apology letter. Post-relapse. Loved wrong. But loved. Forgive for you. Deathbed reconciliation. Sorry. Be free. Ending me with Ronald. Healed bond. Love's lessons etched. Romance refound later. But core, self-forgive. The rooftop party swirled with laughter and lanterns. New York's skyline a jagged halo. But Levi's hand in mine felt loose. Like sand slipping. He'd been off since remission. Smile strained. Eyes drifting to his phone like it held lifelines I couldn't see. Jack's again. I asked light. Nuzzling his neck during slow dance. He stiffened. Pull back. Just work stuff. LA connections for after. This. Cancer's shadow hung. Unspoken. We'd promised no secrets. But his late nights clearing head stretched. Returning with cologne I didn't recognize. Next morning, coffee bitter, depressed. Talk, Levi. We're in this. Sigh heavy. Jax flew in, staying nearby, helping with emotional load. Emotional, voice sharp. What load am I not carrying? You're carrying me, Ethan. All of it. Jax is uncomplicated. No history, no hurt, knife twist. So I'm hurt? We're complicated. Not. He reached, but I jerked away. Go. See, you're uncomplicated. Door slammed. Echo accusing. Ronald called later. What happened? Levi's at my place. Wrecked. Tell him to stay. I'm done playing anchor. Days iced. Silence my weapon. Grief's companion. Work blurred. Code errors mocking. Then Jax's text. Wrong number? Last night magic. When next? Attached. Photo. Levi's tattooed back. Jax's hand on hip. Rage volcanic. Cab to Ronald's. Pounding door. Levi answered. Pale. Ethan. Inside. Jax lounged couch. Smug. Hey, man. Misunderstanding. Out. Low growl. He slunk. Tail tucked. Confront. How long? During chemo? Levi deflated. Started texts when weak. Met once. Needed. Escape from sick me. Sick you is all I want. Tears hot. Betrayed when vulnerable? Lowest. Ronald entered. Face thunder. Levi. What the fuck? Confession spilled. Emotional affair. Physical slip. Sorry. Weak. Ronald exploded. Weak? You're killing us. Ethan gave everything. You shit on it. Punches not thrown. But words lacerated. I fled. Streets blurring. Weeks war. Levi's calls ignored. Ronald mediating texts. He's remorseful. Cancer's monster. Monster indeed. Relapse hit hard. Stage 4. Hospital call. Come. Please. Hesitation ward. Went. Room sterile. Levi skeletal. Eyes pleading. Hate me. Deserve. But. Love you still. Words stuck. Love too. But trust shattered. He nodded. Tears tracking. Shatter me back. Deserve. Ronald beside. Hand on my shoulder. Families this ugly, but ours. Daily vigils resumed. Forgiveness slow drip. Levi's lucidity waned. But clarity peaked. Biggest regret. Hurting you. Be happy. For me. Kisses forehead. Final. Always. Passing quiet. Monitors flatlining soft. Grief title. But shallower anger purged. Aftermath. Ronald and I. Duo tight. Therapy joint. Unpacking Cain's curse. Abandonment cycles broken. Levi showed love's risk. Ron said one park walk. Leaves crunching. Worth it. Yeah. Smile genuine. Years unfold. Me dating cautious, partner Alex. Steady architect. Rooftop proposals echoing. Ronald weds. Best man me. Toasts to ghosts. Changed us better. Human clothes. Walk in scar. But open doors invite. Levi's legacy. Love raw. Redemptive. Years distilled to essence. Scars silvered. Not golden, but strong. Alex entered picture gradual. Coffee meet at app event. His laugh easy. I seeing past armor. Your story, he said over lattes. It's poetry. Tragic. But triumphant. Triumphant. Bitter edge. Lost the love of my life to his own demons. Lost? Sounds like he set you free. Wisdom quiet, pulling me in. Dates layered. Gallery hops in Chelsea. His hand warm in mine through crowds. Intimacy built brick by nights tangled slow. His body solid. Touches mapping new territories. Tell me what you need, he'd murmur. Mouth on throat. Fingers curling just right. Climax built deliberate. His name gasped like discovery release wave. Not storm, but sustaining. With Alex, no hiding outings with Ronald. Double dates seamless. Levi'd grill him on intentions, Ron joked at first barbecue. Alex flipping burgers. Grin wide. Bet he'd approve the char. Laughter healed. Old wounds cauterized. Mom, Levi's, now honorary, knit blankets for the new chapter, her smile crinkling. He wanted joy for you boys. Wedding our way. Central Park autumn. Leaves fire. Small circle vows under arch. I walk in, stay in. Love through storms. Rings exchanged. Simple platinum. Engraved true north. Nod to App. To Levi. Honeymoon Amalfi. Cliffs crashing sea. Lazy villas. Morning's coffee on terrace. His head my lap. Sketching lazy. Your turn, I teased. Pencil to paper, his profile. Strong jaw. Ice kind. Nights passionate. Villa bed. Sheets billowing. His body arching under mine. Moans mingling with waves. Thrusts deep. Rhythm hours, climax shared. Bodies shuddering. Forever breathed. Back. Life bloomed. Adoption journey. Little Jamie. Curly mop like Levi's. Giggles echoing apartment. Ronald Uncle Supreme. Spoiling with skateboards. Like his. Inspiration. Work thrived. True North non-profit arm. Supporting LGBTQ plus cancer families. Talks I gave now laced victory. Betrayal's sting fades. Love's echo endures. One anniversary. Pure pilgrimage. Alex beside. Jamie on shoulders. This where it started? He asked. Wind tousling. Yeah. Changed everything. Jamie pointed skyline. Lights pretty. Daddy. Like stars. I said, lifting him high. Ronald joined. Family full circle. Grief's circle closed. Not erased. Evening. Rooftop, string lights. Wine flowing. Toasts. Alex's to Watkins Wild. Ron's to Brothers Bold. Mine. To Levi Catalyst. Stars wheeled. City hummed. Changed? Utterly. For better, human. Heart-led. Epilogue whisper. Door creaks open in dream. Levi silhouette. Smile crooked. Good job. Poet. Keep running. Wake smiling. Alex's arm heavy comfort. Door stays ajar, inviting whatever next.